fogón de la canción y mi misión es darles son y algo más, un buen compás y además es darles paz. Hi. Soy un fogón de la canción y mi misión es darles son y algo más, un buen compás y además es darles P-A-Z, paz. Well, hello there. I just saw a license plate go by on a car. ZTV. Is that what this is? ZTV? That's kind of like a lightning bolt in TV. Well, hello again. My name is Dennis Holt, and you are welcomed again back to what we are calling, for the time being, Orphic Koans Teriyaki tacos, for want of a better name for this show. And of course, it is a show. If you can think of a better name than this, don't tell me, okay, because I'm going to go on using this one anyway. I explained in our last few bits at some point what this was all about, and we won't belabor that right now, but this is the name of the show. And here's a plastic, what do you call it, shoehorn? No, horseshoe, and I think they're usually hung like this, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, but at any rate, you can use a horseshoe to represent a U, in the alphabet. You can use it to represent a C, which is a very important letter, and so you can make CU, which would be like Colorado University. You can also make it, what would that be? Well, that's for you. It's a C for me. It can be U for union, like in set theory and logic, and it can also be intersection, okay, in logic. Upside down U in logic and set theory means intersection, set intersection. That's where things have something in common. So this is a very important symbol for commonality, right? With commons and so on, which we will get at as we. This is not a college classroom, okay? It's a show. Okay, let's just remind ourselves. Maybe this didn't come out last time. What we are about is poetry. This is the bardic revolution, okay? We are bards, many of us, and our friends. Bards and our allies. Poetry is what we are mostly after, but we will also put up along the way with stories. Poetry and stories, and of course if you combine poetry and stories, often you get songs and whatever music is. We've had some of that, but the linguistic textual aspects of what we are doing as human beings are what we mostly want to emphasize in this show. And in that regard, and in the light of the fact that it is today the 23rd of April, in fact the 444th anniversary of the birth of none other than William Shakespeare, born on this date in Stratford-on-Avon, England, and quite amazingly and coincidentally and somewhat cosmically died exactly 52 years later on his own 52nd birthday. I like to joke about this, and a joke it is, that Shakespeare lived exactly a full deck without the jokers. And I've been looking all day around downtown Santa Cruz. I forgot to mention where we are. We are in downtown Santa Cruz. There's a joker now. We are in downtown Santa Cruz, across the street from one of my favorite cafes, a Italian-style cafe with two Fs. That's mezzo forte. The Cafe Pergolesi, named after a not-so-lazy Italian composer of the, I think, what was it, 17th or 18th century. Speaking of centuries, Shakespeare also died on his 52nd birthday, which was 1616, and this kind of numerology. Today's 444, 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. He was born in 1564 and then dies in 1660. It is interesting to note that on this date also, but using a different calendar, Cervantes, Miguel Cervantes, or Miguel de Cervantes y Saavedra, whatever his name was, the Don Quixote guy, he also, he was not born, but died on the 23rd of April, 1616, the exact same day on which Shakespeare died. But it wasn't the same day, it was the same date. But one in Spain, it was a different day. It was Tuesday in Spain, but it was Friday in England or something. You know what I mean? It wasn't exactly the same day. Well, so here we go. And before we get into, I want to do, let's do some Shakespeare, and then I'll do, since we already did a song, I want to do another song